monks have been invited to stay in one place. Because in ancient times, the monks were not staying in one place. Because they were mainly moving from place to place. You hear me?
Very well.
And that is because when we stay in one place, we become attached to the place. And people also become attached to the monk. So, the main teaching of the Buddha is about detachment, not attachment. And therefore, the monks were really not staying in one place for more than maybe a few days. And they were most of the time traveling. Because they are traveling, when the rainy season comes, there is a problem because they get wet when they begin to travel during the rains. So the Buddha laid down a rule that during the rainy season they should stay at one place. That is about 3 months to stay in one place. And when that happens, the lay followers who support the monks, they invite the monks to stay in their particular city or town or wherever they are, village. And so the monks remain in that state. And then the monks begin to, of course, practice meditation and develop themselves. But at the same time, the lay followers would come to talk to the monks, hear the Dhamma, get advice in practicing the Dhamma, and also learn to meditate and purify their minds. And so they benefit in both ways. That means the monks benefit and also the lay followers benefit from this. And this is why after that short period of 3 months, when they leave the place, they perform a great ceremony where the lay followers begin to give all kinds of gifts to the monks. And especially they arrange a robe ceremony, because the most important thing is to offer robes and other requisites, and so they get perform a lot of good kusala karma, meritorious deeds. So this is the custom, and today you have just invited the monks to stay, and that is being followed every year. So in talking about the Dhamma, and I have been invited to give a sermon, so I thought that I should talk about the meaning of religion and the meaning of the teachings of the Buddha. Very often I hear people, when they talk about the teachings of the Buddha, which is today called Buddhism, some tend to think that Buddhism is not a religion. They say Buddhism is a philosophy. Why is this? Because if we look in the Oxford Dictionary or even the Webster's Dictionary, the American Dictionary, the word religion has been defined as the worship and prayer to supernatural beings called gods. Either they worship many gods, when it is called polytheism, and or some worship only one god with the capital G, which is called monotheism. And Buddhism, because Buddhism is not supposed to be worshipping supernatural beings called gods, they try to say that Buddhism is not a religion. And they say Buddhism is an atheistic philosophy. And when they say Buddhism is an atheistic philosophy, they begin to classify Buddhism under the same category like Marxism. You see, which I think is an insult to Buddhism. What I point out is that Buddhism is a religion, not just a philosophy like the philosophy of Socrates or Plato or any of these other modern philosophers. That is what is called an armchair philosophy. Buddhism is not an armchair philosophy. What this means is, first, this point has been mentioned even by a psychologist called Erich Fromm. In his book called Psychoanalysis and Religion, there he points out that it is incorrect to define Buddhism as an atheistic philosophy. There are very many religious reasons for this. The very important thing is that religion is not just belief in supernatural beings. Religion is an effort to solve a very important problem of mankind. That important problem not only of mankind, all living beings. That is a very important problem that modern philosophers who are called existential philosophers, they have pointed to this. What they point out is that out of all animals, the human being, who is also an animal, is the only animal that is aware of his own existence. Not only is he aware of his own existence, he is also aware that he is going to die. Death or mortality is a problem that human beings are aware of. Other animals may not be aware of these things. They are not aware that they are going to die. But every animal is struggling to exist. Not only every animal, every plant is struggling to exist. Not necessarily consciously, even unconsciously they are struggling to exist. This is what Charles Darwin saw. He called it the struggle for existence and the survival of the fittest. But in fact, it's not even a survival, because every animal, every plant has to die. This is what, from a Buddhist point of view, is the insecurity of life. From the time a child is born, that child is insecure. If the parents don't look after that child, the child is going to die. If that child is not fed and taken care of in various ways, that child is going to die. From the time we are born, we are in the process of dying. If we look at this television show, where they show animals, the animal what is that show called?
Animal Planet.
Huh?
Animal Planet.
Animal
Planet.
Planet. Now, you'll always see that one animal begins to go in search of food. Another animal also goes in search of food. And this first animal who was going in search of food becomes the food of the other animal. So, this struggle to exist is a competitive struggle. One animal becomes the food of the other animal. What are human beings doing?